Okay, so I've been having trouble with water not draining in my Bosch dishwasher. So it's Bosch, and the problem is the check water light comes on and then the bottom of the dishwasher is full of water and the cycle doesn't always finish. So I started with taking out all of the filter parts, which are up here. I cleaned them out. I found actually that this filter had a tear in it, so I've glued that, which I'm sure contributed to the problem. Taken all of the water out, and I found that using a soup ladle, just like this, was actually ideal for scooping out. And then I just had a dish here and bailed into that, and then emptied all of the water out, sponging out the last bit of it, and then checking around, making sure that there was no debris. There's a couple of other parts that I took out, which is this part here, which comes out. This screw is a Torque or a hex size 15. So I'm just going to remove that. So I've taken up the screw there, and just take that out. That's the screw, and then just pull this tab and it comes out like that. Okay, then you can see, hopefully, oh yeah, there we go. Inside there's an impeller down in there, and I checked around that impeller and moved it to make sure it was moving freely. There is some resistance because of how it operates, but there shouldn't be any grinding or anything like that. So you just use your finger and just turn it and make sure that it turns, and check it around. There's also a check valve in here. This little thing, so I've pulled that out, and just pull that up. You can use tweezers or something like that just to get a grip on it. Looks like it can go in either way, so you don't have to remember how it came out, as in that way or that way. And a little bit of water did actually come through when I took that out, and there's small little bits of debris, so I'm just going to empty that water, but also this piece here, just to pull that out. And there's an impeller on the other side, and you can put your finger down in there and feel around and make sure there's nothing in there. And there's also another hole back in here, so just to check around, make sure that there's nothing stuck in the grooves or anything like that. After that, it's worth putting it all back together and running a cycle, because that might do the trick. But if it isn't, there's more that can be done. So I'm just going to empty out the bit of water and move on to the next. Okay, so to put it all back together, we put in this piece, and it just clicks back in, and you would put in the check valve slot in there, but I'm going to keep that out for now, because running the cycle after this step didn't work for me. So I'm going to put this piece back in, and that protects the propeller, and that kind of fits in like a jigsaw piece. And then put the size 15 screw back in. Okay, so that's as much as I'm going to put in for now. I'm going to close up the dishwasher. Also, if you're trying to figure out what the model of your dishwasher is, the detail is actually etched on the door, and sometimes it's hard to see depending on the angle that you look at it. So it can be hard to spot, but that's where it is. So I've already stripped down part of the dishwasher, so I'm going to pull it out and go to the next step. Okay, so I've pulled out the dishwasher. I've also plugged it out and I've disconnected the water supply. A couple of other things I did was I checked the outlet pipe to make sure that there was nothing stuck in there, so I just disconnected it and just shook it out, any bit of water, and made sure that it was clear. The inlet pipe should have a little filter at the top, so when you unscrew it and take it out, you should be able to find a little filter near the top, and that all looked okay. So then the next thing I did was I stripped the dishwasher, so starting with the top. So the top is here. Top there, which was connected at the back with two clips, that being one clip which was clipped in here, and it just took a screwdriver to just push the clip so it went properly into the hole, pushing the little lip there, and same on the other side, and that popped those two out, and then I was able to take off the top, and then I took off the side. So the side which was here, and there are two screws at the front. Again, they're the same size 15 Torx screws or hex screws. So I unscrewed those and basically just wiggled it free and stripped that down. So then I had this exposed, so I've also stripped this side down. So what I had there was this water matrix, and it was connected to all of the pipes, and this part of the top here was completely clogged up with blackish brownish gunk, all stuck in here as well. So I disconnected it by very carefully. There's going to be water up in this plastic matrix, so I put towels in behind, I had towels underneath, and a basin ready. And the first one I disconnected was this one, which took a bit of wiggling to take it out of the rubber that prevents leaks. And then that's the water that comes in, which goes up. This is the water. This is the... Is that the water that comes in? No, sorry. This is the inlet pipe. This is the water that drains out of the washing machine, up and around and down and through this one and out to the outside. So the first one I took was this outlet pipe. Then I took this drain pipe, and then this one needed pliers just to pull this metal together and then slide it down a bit and then loosen that out. The other connectors are not firm connections, so they just pulled out easily. Then to get this gunk out, because there's no way to actually physically reach inside that, I got just normal laundry stain removing powder that has oxy action. It's oxygenated, so it bubbles when you add water. So I poured water, turned it upside down. There's a little hole here on the bottom, so I just plugged that up with a little rubber band to stop water from leaking out there. I poured water in the top so that it came up to roughly here. Warm water or hot water, not boiling. And then I just used a funnel and stuck a funnel in the top and dropped in enough powder so that there would be an accumulation of powder dropping to the bottom, all the ways down to the bottom. It dropped in here. Eventually this was all full, so it sat here for a while. I left it overnight. It eventually made its way in there, bubbling it all out. The dirt started to float up, and then I poured it out, and then I just used my shower hose, pouring water in there and letting it all come out and empty it out completely. There's just a few small bits of dirt that's actually ground in on the outside, but there's no material on the inside anymore. And this, I think it's called a float, was all clogged around it, and that's all clear now. That's a red plastic piece, and now that can go back in. So I'm going to reconnect this as my next step. I'm going to connect all these pieces back together, so sit it in, connect all the pipes back up, and then I'm going to do one more step of clearing out this drain pipe before fully reassembling the dish. Okay, that took quite a bit of wiggling, but I set it in position. I started with these two, putting these pipes in and just pushing down to push them in, quite stiff, and hoping that I've got them in far enough. Then I positioned these 3 points, which just sit down. There's no reattachment, and then finally did the inlet with the pliers to squeeze those together to widen up the ring, and it took a little bit of wiggling to get that ring back up to its position, and also making sure that the top of this is clipped back in behind this plastic part. Just keeps it steady in place. So now I'm going to turn on the dishwasher, get the water going, and I'll need this pipe disconnected for this part. So I'm going to re-detach that and turn on the dishwasher, and then I'm going to use this rod to trigger the water to come out that pipe and into a... Okay, so I've disconnected the drain pipe. This time it disconnected with the rubber from the other side. Close the dishwasher door, and I'm just going to set it to rinse, switch it on, and it's active. So just waiting for it to come on. Okay. Doesn't sound good. There we go. And the water's filling. Pull this drain pipe, and I'm going to pull that rod for the water to come through. So try and position the camera. putting the water through, pulling up the rod, which forces the water to drain, and there's a little bit of debris. A bit of debris came out. Let that fill up a bit more. Okay, and that's it. So just filled some water out. The small bits of debris, but not much. So it came out of this pipe by pulling up that rod just here. Just pulling that up. So now all I have to do is reconnect it, run a cycle, and hopefully that will fix the water problem. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below.